Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Sometimes we do things, Jewishly and in general, without thinking about them because we've done them so often and we know them so well. It's like brushing our teeth. Have a look on page 123, page 123. Friday night Kiddush. How often have we been standing there with a cup of grape juice or wine in our hand? We've been reciting Kiddush, and do we know what we're reciting? Have we looked at the words? Have we reflected on what they're about? So this is a total sidetrack, but there's a debate between Hillel and Shammai. I just studied it in the Mishnah this week, so this is totally not what I was going to talk about, but let's do it anyway. So in the Mishnah of Pesachim in chapter 10, it says, when you get to Kiddush, Beit Shammai says that you recite the Zman, the holiness of the day, Pesach, and then you recite the blessing for wine, and then you drink, which makes total sense, because normally we'd say Borei Pri Hagafen and we drink the wine, right? So that's Beit Shammai. Beit Hillel says, no, first you say Borei Pri Hagafen, and then you say the blessing of the day. Now, that's in terms of Kiddush for Pesach, right? So who do we go by? Hillel or Shammai? Hillel. You can see it right in front of you here. This is the Shabbat example. So that was in reference to Pesach. Top of the page, you see Borei Pri Hagafen. That's the wine blessing. And normally you would drink the wine, but you don't. You pause for a moment and you say a whole lot of stuff about Shabbos, and then you drink the wine. So if you want to know more about Hillel and Shammai, you'll have to ask me afterwards. I can't do that all tonight, but it's good stuff. But I wanted to look at the Kiddush, specifically the second paragraph that is to do with Shabbat. So the normal beginning, Asher Kiddishanu, and then B'mitzvotav V'rat Savanu, for Shabbat. So God has chosen us, and what are we supposed to do? Make God's Shabbat holy. Ba'avav Ratzon Inchaltanu, Hinchilanu. And then it says, Zikaron Lamaz Sevareshit, which makes total sense. Shabbat is in memory of the work of creation. That makes total sense. God created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day, God rested. So of course Shabbat is Zeicher, Zikr, is a remembrance or a reminder of the days of creation. Of course, I'm with you. Now the next line is what gets confusing. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Zeicher letziat Mitzrayim, to remember the going out of Egypt. Now, hold on a second. This isn't Pesach. This is Shabbos, right? This is what we're chanting on Friday night before we drink the Friday night wine. So why are we remembering the going out of Egypt when we are on Shabbat? What has Shabbat got to do with the Exodus from Egypt? Maybe this is a misprint. The rabbis got it wrong. Maybe they were thinking Pesach and they choid it into Shabbos by mistake. Or maybe there's a reason. I don't know. Why would we be remembering the going out of Egypt on Shabbat? It's good to remember it every day. Why on Shabbat? Any thoughts? I'll give you a thought. Yep, Amelie has a thought.
Freedom from the week.
Love that. I love that, Amelie. Rabbi Amelie has a great thought, which is that Shabbat is freedom from the week. And I want to riff off that, Amelie, to say that so we have a responsibility during the week, according to the Torah. Sheshet yamim tavod v'asita kol malachtecha. You have a responsibility during the week to do work. So paddle doesn't count unless you, during your paddle game, are transforming the world for the better. We can discuss that one, or pickleball. But during the week, we are responsible, while we're on earth, we are responsible for making the world a better place, for doing the work of Tikkun Olam. That's what we're here for. And we do that from Saturday night until Friday afternoon. That is not optional. That we have to do. And then we have to rest. We have to take the day off. Now, going back to Amelie, that's not just freedom from the work of the week, which it is. It's beautiful to turn off the cell phone, sit around with munching challah with your family and friends. That's a beautiful thing to be able to do. But it's more than that. Going to the nature of freedom, if we were still slaves in Egypt, if Pharaoh was our commanding emperor, we would have to do everything that the slave owner wants us to do. Can we say, no, it's Shabbat, I can't work? No, we can't, because we're not free to do that. We don't have freedom to say, no, I don't want to work on this day. If you're a slave, you have no freedom at all. Everything is determined by your master. When we exercise our choice to keep Shabbat, when we do down our tools and spend the day resting, we are exercising our freedom, which we would not have if we had not left Egypt. So the leaving of Egypt allows us to keep Shabbat. But if we don't keep Shabbat, we have never left Egypt. We're not exercising our freedom. How many times, oh, Rabbi, I would love to come to shul on Friday night, but I have to work. Oh, Rabbi, I'd love to come on Shabbos morning, but too busy. Sounds like slavery to me, unless, of course, shul is so dull and boring that you would not want to come to shul. Okay, then you're exercising your freedom not to do something that you wouldn't want to. But we hope that it's not. And I think about when I was, I'm looking at Judy, because when we were university students coming here on a Saturday morning, what a schlep. You could be doing so many other things on a Saturday morning. But we did. We got you on a Saturday morning and we sat through a service, and inevitably on the way home we would say, wasn't it great that we came to shul on Shabbat? Wasn't it fantastic? You always feel great when you're going out. It's kind of like the gym. No, actually, no, it's not at all like the gym. So why is Yetziat Mitzrayim in the Kiddush? Because in order to keep Shabbat, we need to be free. But if we don't keep Shabbat, if we don't exercise that freedom, then in effect we lose that freedom. If we say, well, I can't, why can't you? Who's in charge of your diary, if not you? We are free. No excuse. So this Shabbat is a week to go to Pesach. It's a great time to start reflecting on freedom. Not just our ancestors, and not just Donald Trump and the madness of the world, but ourselves, where we might be the pharaohs of our own lives. What do we need to do in order to enter Pesach a little bit freer and go out even freer? Good Shabbos, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.